Nnamdi Kanu is a name that many people in Nigeria know. He is the leader of a group called the Indigenous People of Biafra, or IPOB. For many years he has carried a powerful dream, the dream of creating a new country called Biafra, separate from Nigeria. This idea is not new, it comes from a painful time in Nigeria's history. A civil war that happened long ago, from 1967 to 1970. During that war, the southeastern part of Nigeria, home mostly to the Igbo people, tried to break away and form its own nation, Biafra. The war ended with Biafra rejoining Nigeria, but the dream of an independent nation never completely disappeared for some people. Kanu brought this old dream back to life with a loud and clear voice. He used radio stations and online broadcasts to speak to millions of followers, both in Nigeria and around the world. He told them stories of their heritage and argued that the Igbo people were not being treated fairly within Nigeria. Kanu painted a picture of a future where Biafra would be a prosperous and safe homeland, free from the problems he saw in the larger country. His message resonated deeply with many young people in the southeast who felt left out and unheard. They saw him as a brave leader fighting for their rights and their future, a voice for a generation searching for hope and a new identity. His words gave them a cause to believe in and a community to belong to. This dream, however, has put Nnamdi Kanu on a collision course with the Nigerian government. To the government, Nigeria is one single, indivisible country. The idea of any part of it breaking away is seen as a direct threat to the nation's unity and stability. They view Kanu not as a freedom fighter, but as a man who is trying to tear the country apart. His powerful words, which inspire his followers, are seen by the authorities as dangerous and inflammatory. The government believes that his calls for a separate state are not just political speech, but a serious challenge to the authority and existence of the Nigerian state itself, something they are sworn to protect at all costs. For young people trying to understand this complex situation, it is like a story with two very different sides. On one side, you have a leader and his followers who feel they need their own country to be safe and successful. They believe they are fighting for self-determination, which is the right of a people to choose their own government. On the other side, you have the Nigerian government, which believes that keeping the country together is the most important thing. They see Kanu's movement as an illegal rebellion that could lead to chaos and violence, and they are determined to stop it. This clash of beliefs is at the very heart of the long and difficult court case that has captured the nation's attention. The Nigerian government has brought very serious charges against Nnamdi Kanu. He is not on trial for simply wanting a new country. He is accused of terrorism, murder, and inciting violence. The government claims that Kanu used his broadcasts to do more than just share his dream of Biafra. They allege that he actively encouraged his followers to attack Nigerian security forces, like the police and the army. According to the prosecution, his words were not just speeches, but direct orders that led to real-world violence and loss of life. These are some of the most severe accusations a person can face, and the government is using them to argue that Kanu's actions crossed the line from political activism into criminal activity. A key part of the government's case is the proscription of IPOB. In September 2017, the Nigerian government officially declared IPOB a terrorist organization. This was a major step. By law, this means that belonging to or supporting IPOB is now considered an act of terrorism in Nigeria. The government presented the official document that announced this decision, called a Gazette, as evidence in court. This document, now Exhibit PWJ in the trial, forms the legal foundation for many of the charges. It allows the prosecution to frame all of Kanu's activities as the leader of IPOB as acts of terrorism, making it much harder for him to argue that he is just a political leader exercising his right to free speech. The prosecutors, led by a senior lawyer named Adegboyega Awomolo, have built their case on what they call a mountain of evidence. One of the first pieces of evidence they showed the court was a formal complaint or petition written by the former Attorney General of Nigeria, Abubakar Malami, in June 2021. This petition officially accused Kanu of using his broadcast to stir up hatred and encourage attacks against the state. It was this document that set the stage for his arrest and trial. The government is essentially saying that the country's top lawyer at the time saw enough evidence of danger in Kanu's words to demand his prosecution for serious crimes against the nation. Another piece of evidence is a written statement from Kanu himself, taken shortly after he was brought back to Nigeria in 2021. In the document, Kanu reportedly refused to give a new statement to the Department of State Services, Nigeria's secret police. The government is also using a CD recording of his interrogation from that same day. While these items might seem small, the prosecution uses them to build a timeline and establish the official process of his detention. They are part of a larger strategy to show the court that every step of Kanu's arrest and questioning was done according to procedure, creating a complete picture of a man being lawfully prosecuted for his alleged crimes. Facing such serious charges in a Nigerian court, Nnamdi Kanu and his legal team decided they needed help from the outside world. They did not believe he could get a fair trial without international attention. As a result, they sent formal petitions, which are like official letters of request, to the embassies of several powerful countries in Nigeria, including the United States and the United Kingdom. Kanu holds dual citizenship. He is a citizen of both Nigeria and the United Kingdom. This gives the UK a special interest in his case. His lawyers asked these foreign embassies to send representatives to watch the court proceedings and monitor his treatment while in custody. The main reason for this international plea was Kanu's deep-seated fear that the trial was already biased against him. His supporters argue that his rights have been violated from the very beginning. They point to the way he was brought back to Nigeria in June 2021, which they describe as an illegal abduction, not a lawful arrest. They also claim that he has been denied proper access to his lawyers and medical care while being held by the DSS. By inviting foreign observers, Kanu's team hopes to shine a bright international spotlight on the courtroom, believing that the presence of diplomats might pressure the judicial system to be more transparent and just. This strategy is also about changing the story being told about him. The Nigerian government portrays him as a terrorist leader, but Kanu wants the world to see him as a political prisoner. A political prisoner is someone who is jailed because their beliefs challenge the government, not because they have committed a regular crime. By appealing to countries like the US and UK, which often speak about democracy and human rights, Kanu is trying to frame his trial as a struggle for freedom of expression. He is asking the world to question whether he is truly a criminal, or simply a man being punished for daring to demand self-determination for his people. The legal journey has been long and filled with delays, which Kanu's team says is another sign of an unfair process. Before the current trial started, the case faced major setbacks. For instance, the previous judge, Justice Binta Nyako, had to step down from the case twice. After she recused herself in September 2024, the case was given back to her, but Kanu's lawyers strongly objected, arguing she could not be impartial. She finally adjourned the trial indefinitely in February 2025, leading to its reassignment to the current judge, Justice James Omotosho. Kanu's lawyers present this history of delays and judicial changes to the international community as proof that the system is struggling to handle the case fairly. The trial, which finally got underway in May 2025, is now centered on a collection of audio and video recordings. The prosecution presented a flash drive in court containing numerous clips of Nnamdi Kanu's broadcasts. A government witness testified that Kanu himself admitted to making these recordings. In the clips, a voice identified as Kanu's is heard giving shocking instructions. He allegedly calls for the formation of the Eastern Security Network, a group he said was created to defend against outside attackers. The government, however, sees the ESN as an illegal militia created to fight the Nigerian state, and they use these recordings as proof of his violent intentions. The content of these tapes is explosive. In some clips played for the court, the speaker directly tells followers to go and burn down Lagos, a major city in Nigeria, and to set fire to specific buildings, including an airport and a hotel. Other recordings allegedly capture him inciting violence during the End SARS protests of October 2020, a nationwide youth movement against police brutality. The prosecution claims Kanu hijacked that protest for his own purposes, urging his followers to collect policemen's guns and kill them, and to start killing soldiers now. These recordings are the government's most powerful evidence, as they appear to show Kanu, in his own words, ordering acts of violence and destruction. Kanu and his supporters, however, tell a different story about these tapes. They argue that his words are being taken out of context and that his passionate language is meant to inspire a political movement, not to command a literal army. They claim he was speaking metaphorically about fighting a corrupt system, not telling people to commit murder. His defense team continues to argue that he is not receiving a fair trial, pointing to his restricted access to legal counsel and the general atmosphere of the case. They believe the trial is a show, designed from the start to find him guilty and silence the Biafran movement for good. As of August 2025, the trial continues and the world is watching closely. What happens next could have a huge impact on Nigeria. If Kanu is found guilty, it could anger his millions of supporters and lead to more unrest in the southeast. If he is found not guilty, it could be seen as a major defeat for the Nigerian government and might embolden the Biafran movement. This trial is more than just about one man. It is about the deep divisions within Nigeria and the ongoing question of national unity. It is a test of the country's justice system and a reflection of the unresolved tensions that have lingered since the Civil War, making it a critical moment for Nigeria's future.